In this video, I'm showing you how to set up your self-hosted n8n to have sign-in with buttons instead of an OAuth configuration. The way this works is a little-known feature called Credential overwrites, and it does exactly what it sounds like. It overwrites credentials fields, essentially giving them hard-coded values. So it's then hidden from the setup page. If I go to set up a Gmail connection without this, it asks me for my client ID and secret. Once those fields are actually provided, the button shows up automatically to click to connect. With Credential overwrites, we are just setting that client ID and secret with default values, so it hides it from the credential screen and gives you the one-click connection right away. So you still need to set up that OAuth once, but then never again. This is especially useful if you use n8n at work. Then the I team can set up the credential, and then Jeff from accounting doesn't even need to know what OAuth means. That being said, I use this on all of my personal instances as well because it's just so convenient, even if just one user. If you're using an n8n cloud hosted account, this won't work for you since you can't edit environment variables, but on cloud, almost everything is click to connect anyway, since we essentially do these steps for you behind the scenes. To set up these overrides, I made this template which walks you through it and gives you all the nodes needed. If you're following along, you need this template. It's in the first link in the description. So first, we need to enable this feature by adding an environment variable. Then we get the names and schemas of the credential. That's so we know what the field names actually are. Then we put that info into an HTTP request that actually registers it. And then this right here is what actually does it. And it needs to run on every startup, and that's how it's configured. First, I'll go through Airtable and OAuth, then Google. Google is really cool, but it's a little different, so I want to show a simpler one first. So first, we need to add this environment variable. I'm using Portainer, so I'll just paste it into my setup here. Now we need to find the Airtable credential details. I put this link in the template to the actual source code of the credential. Then we just need to find Airtable OAuth in the list. And this name right here is what we need. So we'll paste that in the set fields node. And then also the base URL of our instance as well. Now we just need the n8n API key, which you get right in the settings. Then add it as a credential in the node. Now running this, these are the field names that we can overwrite, which we just need client ID and client secret. So now that we have the names and properties, we can register it in step 3. So I'm going to copy the JSON from the sticky here. And then the register overwrites node, we create custom auth and paste that in. Now this is just a template for us for the actual credentials and values. So I'll copy the credential name again and then paste it in. And I'll paste in my Airtable OAuth credentials, which I set up beforehand. And of course, you can put as many credentials in here as you want. You just do step 2 with each different credential type that you need. You need to make sure this is published so it actually runs on startup. And then we can restart the instance in Portainer in my case. So I waited a couple minutes for it to come back up. And we can see the Airtable credential only has the click to connect now. So we never need to worry about these credentials again. Now something like Google or Microsoft is where this gets much more interesting. We have well over a dozen Google integrations. And if you look at them on GitHub, you'll see all the credentials extend the same generic Google credential type. That means if we overwrite that single Google OAuth credential, then that will apply to everything that extends it. So with one single overwrite, we are then saving ourselves from setting up potentially over a dozen other credentials. And since this applies to every user in the instance, this removes the biggest hurdle in building with n8n, so you and your team can just focus on getting stuff done instead of messing with the credentials. Links to all the resources you need are right down in the description. If there's anything else you want me to cover in more depth, leave a comment and let me know.